Alright everyone, we are going into war number 7 and we're facing up against the Vietnam squad. And interestingly enough, I get to actually use Thor for the very first fight of this war. And I don't get to use him often, mostly because it's mainly a team that I'm bringing in that complements Luke Cage. But with this Sam Wilson, the immediate access to armor breaks is absolutely clutch for Thor, specifically because at Sig 200 that damage just ramps up so quickly. His heavies are absolutely vicious. Coming in right now, you'll see like a 38k crit, and then I'm gonna finish it off with a 31k crit, which is absolutely phenomenal, specifically because he's still rank 4. And I do have a tendency to do more of the unique rank ups like Luke Cage, so I may rank 5 in the future. But for now, since it's just a Mystic meta, Science champs are going to reign supreme, as you'll see in this next fight. And so Juggernaut, even though he is tactic, he's not really a harmful defender. More or less, you just need a tactic attacker, and you're essentially good. So I'm not sure why he's placed here on this node, probably because he's for diversity. But concerning all my Luke Cage fights, this war, except for one where I really messed up, spoiler alert, it's gonna be rather straightforward. With Luke, all you have to do is hit into them, get the stun, relic, fight is over. Now, moving from path 8, we're gonna go into path 5. And the first half of this fight, it goes like extremely well. Like no issues here, but towards the end, since Luke isn't buff immune, that really hurts me here. My goal was to intercept, and if he gets essentially really stingy with his specials, then I'm going to push him over to SP2, and then I'll tank it with my indestructible. But I did not account for the fact that I would play like an absolute potato during this fight. Now, I forgot that when my buffs expire, that he will have a chance to go unstoppable. But then, like, I miscalculated the timing when the unstoppable will expire. I end up paying for it. So then I'm like, okay, I'm woken up, I'm gonna finish this fight. And I'm like, alright, I'm gonna dex this SP2, and nope. And so with it, I'm like, am I really gonna die on a pass fight? And I'm just like, no, I can't die on a pass fight. We're not gonna let this happen. Not yet. And so, again, if I haven't said already, we are on path 5. And I was really surprised for the second fight, because I was just like, wait a minute. This Kindred is unawakened. Why is he here? Because, like, without his awakening ability, that's where Kindred has access to the root, and that's his main source of damage, and also his main defender usage that makes him very valuable on defense. But without it, it's just like he doesn't really do anything, mostly because the tactic, it completely shuts him down. So I guess because, like, okay, Dex is just always gonna be there? I don't know. The main thing is just punishing his specials, but then again, like, that part of his kit I don't need to do, because it's just, the tactic is just so OP. I'm gonna approach Outbreak, but I'm just not gonna take any damage. It's gonna be absolutely glorious. This tactic, I absolutely love playing with it, but I'm actually thinking about, now that I have my Kindred on defense, as long as someone brings a tactic attacker, that bro's gonna get wasted. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And so right here, I'm just like, okay, I guess I'll penalize him for his special. But really, this fight is going to be a walk through the park, as will my next one. Now, I do caution that if you're not using a tactic attacker, I know I'm memeing right now, then it's going to be extremely difficult, because Kindred is always going to be gaining power. But then again, you always want to be using attacker versus defender, unless you're buff immune. Every buff immune champ will counter Kindred there, at least the ones that are in the scythe class. And now we're moving on to a very casual and very normal placement for Sassy on 47, the missing in action node. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. Luke is an absolute beast when it comes to facing Sassy with this tactic, mostly because of the relic that I'm running, as well as the tactic itself. Now, the only reason Luke is able to get this damage or these numbers through this war season is not because of the fact that, okay, my Luke is ascended. It's due to the fact that, okay, since we're essentially placing debuffs on the defender, specifically 5 withers, Luke Cage's attack is going to be raised by 2k, well, roughly 2.1k for every debuff. And at the base tactic, that's 10k extra attack rating. And it's absolutely glorious with the added exhaustions, and I'm not even running Resonate, which makes it even better. Now, we did end up winning this more. Shout out to RBG, only gave up 1 death. That was amazing. But we're hoping to essentially carry this forward into our next war, and then carry on to the journey of Masters.